This video is going to be a compilation of where to find every new shiny mega Pokemon. For every Pokemon, I'm going to do my best to try and give you an active method and an AFK method that you can do overnight if you want. And I'll have every Pokemon in their own chapter so you can like this video, come back, and keep hunting whichever one you want. Speaking of which, if you do like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get into the hunting. So the first one's kind of a tough one. We're going to be flying to Wild Zone 19. First, you have to make sure that it's nighttime because Clefairy spawns during the night. And as you can see, we have some Clepa, some Clefairy right here. There's no AFK method for this one that I know of. The best method I know is going to be if we put a pin where they are, which is right here. Now we can see how far away that we run. They're going to despawn at about 70 meters. So we're going to run all the way to this wall, run all the way back, and we should be getting some new spawns in. So there's that Alpha Kangaskhan, 2 Clepa, Clefairy, run to the wall, run back. Now we have an Alpha Clefairy. And if we run here, turn around. We have another Alpha Clefairy, but in a different spot. I don't know of any AFK method, but this one should get you one pretty fast because you do get a couple spawns every run, and they only take a couple seconds. All right, next up is going to be a pretty easy one. It's going to be Victreebell. So for Victreebell, there's an active and an AFK. The active one, you can fly to Zone 5, and you do spawn in, as you can see, I was doing some things earlier. You actually spawn in quite a few things. You spawn in Froakie, you spawn in Ampharos, Binnacle, but you also spawn in over here. We have Bellsprouts. As you can see, I have done some shiny hunting over here. Or you can do this AFK bench method, where you just sit on the bench, wait until morning. How you do the AFK method is if you have a turbo controller, you can just put the turbo on A, use a rubber band to put the joystick down, and you can leave it, let it AFK hunt for you if that's something that you want to do. And as you can see, it gets you shinies pretty quickly. So next up is going to be Starmie. So for Starmie, you need to make sure it's nighttime. So let me go do that. All right, so now that it's nighttime, we can fly to Wild Zone 2. And as you can see, we have an Alpha Starmie right there. Staryu, sorry. So the active method that I like doing is just fly spamming the Wild Zone 2. You don't have to check every time, although, I mean, it is right there, so you can. But essentially, this is the method. You just keep flying Wild Zone 2, and you get a new spawn every time. If you want to do the AFK method, there's a bench right here where you can sit, change time, and just wait for it to be shining overnight, if that's something you want to do. So the next one is going to be a pretty popular one. It's going to be Dragonite. So if you fly to Restaurant La Wow, once you fly here, you're going to want to turn around and run up these stairs. And you're going to see this scaffolding right here. You're going to want to go all the way up. And now that we're on this roof, you can see Pidgeot, some other things. And across the way, next to this little Ekans here, you're going to see Dratini. So if we take our marker out and we put a pin in Dratini, close enough, we see it's about 50 meters away. We run away, 70 meters, run back in. There it is, right behind that box there. I was like, why didn't it spawn? We run away, we run back. And there it is again. So doing that is going to reset it every time, and that's what you can do to get it pretty fast as an active method. If you want an AFK method, though, I do have one for you. So for the AFK method, you're going to want to fly to the Magenta Pokemon Center, and you're going to want to run down the street. You're going to go up this elevator, and then once you're on this roof, you're going to go to the right. Now here, if you have the Rotom jump, you can just, pretty easily jump across. If you don't have it yet, there is a way to get over. If you run and then dodge at the right time, you can make it. It's pretty tough to do, though. There we go. Only took 2 tries. So once you're across that, either way, we run up here. You're gonna run to the left across the spider web. And you're gonna have a couple benches here that you can use to reset for Dratini, whichever one you want to use. I would probably use this one because you can see it in the background there when you reset. But if you want to AFK hunt overnight, there you go. All right, next up, going into our starters, this does require you to have beaten the game and unlock Wild Zone 20. So we're gonna fly to Zone 20, and the active method is gonna be flying in, running, checking the spawns out, seeing if anything spawns. Chikorita doesn't always spawn, but you pretty much just do that. Just fly to Wild Zone 20, run in, check. A cool thing about this is while you're doing it, you can also check for the alphas that spawn in the middle. You can get a pretty cool alpha there. Sometimes you get Bulbasaur, sometimes you get Totodile. You just gotta run through and check. Oh, there we go. There's a Chikorita. And the AFK method is right here, right at this bench. You can sit here, change the time, wait for Chikorita or other things, Bulbasaur, to spawn. I actually used the running method. I was looking for a shiny alpha in the middle, and I got this little person right here. This little man right here. Now for Feraligatr, it's going to be essentially the same thing. You're going to want to fly to Zone 20. And then we can see that we have a couple of spawns right here. For Feraligatr, you don't really have to check every time. You can just spam fly. And you should get a couple of spawns right in front of you. But that being said, if you want an AFK method, we have a nice old bench right here where you can change time of day, reset, and get one AFK. So for Emboar, it's going to be a little bit more tricky than the other two because there's no bench to reset for him. The best way is going to be fly to Zone 20. We're going to run through. And he does spawn over here. He is not always going to spawn over here. Him and Charmander both spawn over here. So yeah, the best way that I found is just flying, running through, checking. It's going to be a little bit slower than the other two because he's kind of farther away, but that's been the best way that I found so far. There is also the option as well if you want where you can run here and just run about, you know, to this little port, turn around, run back in, and you can check the spawns there too, whichever one you prefer. Both of them are going to be around the same time. This is probably a little bit faster if you want to do it this way. Okay, so next up is going to be Skarmory, and this is going to be a little bit more involved. So Skarmory spawns in Wild Zone 17, which if you know, you know. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to change the time to night until we get a specific battle zone that's right next to Wild Zone 17, and I'll show you what that is in just a second. Okay, wow, that only took like I think like 2 resets. So now that we have this battle zone right next to Wild Zone 17, we're gonna fly to it. And as you can see, we have Skarmory spawning right there, as well as a bunch of Pyroar. I forgot what they're called. But now we can just keep spamming fly, and you'll see a new one spawn in every time. Now keep in mind, with this hunt, you do only have until that battle zone runs out, so you might have to, you know, reset to get it back there, but it shouldn't take too long to have it pop back up. And keep in mind too, you don't need to check every single time. If you want to just spam some flies, you can just keep doing this, and if it's shiny, it will stay. But I understand the the feeling to want to check every time. So now we are on to Snow Runt. Snow Runt is going to be in Wild Zone 12. For Snorunt, the active method is going to be flying to Wild Zone 12, running around, looking at spawns, flying back, and there you go. That's all you do. Spawn in, run around, see what spawn. And if you want to AFK him, which this will get you a lot of spawns and get you a shiny pretty relatively fast, is the AFK bench method right here. You get all of these things spawning in, Machoke, Abomasnow, all these Snorunt, Snover, all of that. Shouldn't take you too long, but if you don't want to do the AFK way, you pretty much just fly, run around, check spawns. So Excadrill is kind of a tricky one. For Excadrill, I think the best way I've really found is just spamming fly to Wild Zone 8. You don't even need to run in. Things spawn in. These middle guys right here, you see the Machop and everything else, these middle guys spawn in. If you just spam fly to Wild Zone 8, you get all those spawning in. You can run in, take a little look. Oh, no way. Hold on. No way. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, what is it? Is it a Gibble or a Drillbur? It's a Drillbur. Okay, the method works. The method works. Get out of there. Looking. Wow. Okay, well. The method works. All right, next up for Scolipede, there's going to be, honestly, a couple different ways people have found. I'm going to show you the best ways I personally have found to do it. So if you want an active method, you can fly to the Lumio sewers right next to Wild Zone 5. And you will see our Alpha Whirlipede boy right there. And a couple Venipede spawning in. And you can spam fly here. I will note that to make him spawn in, you do have to do like a little roll to get closer because he's a little bit far away. But you just do a little roll, fly, you're good. Do it again, and we get some new spawns. Another way in this same area. What? Well, there you go. Method works. Method works, everyone. Wait, what? There's another one? Oh, it's Pidgeotto over there. Huh. Hi. So yeah, that's a good method for Whirlipede and Venipede. Another method is going to be just running down this little... Okay, Bellsprout, I know you're up there. Another method is going to be running through the sewers. So with this, you can kind of run all the way down here. Let him despawn. Run all the way back. Check. And do it again. I prefer the other method just because I like the fly spamming a little bit more here because the water's kind of annoying. But if you want an AFK method for Venipede, you can fly to Wild Zone 5. Walk on in. There's our Bellsprouts from before. And at this bench right here, same with Bellsprout, you can get a shiny Venipede. Pretty easy, pretty quick. All right, so next up for Scrafty, you're going to want to make sure that it's nighttime and fly to Restaurant Legat. It's right across from the Quasartico Inc. And then once you've flown here, you're going to want to run past this alley. And right into this one. And you should see some Scraggy spawn in here. Wait, is that guy shiny? That one in the bag? Oh my gosh. Okay, method works. But yeah, that's all you want to do. Essentially, there's no AFK method as far as I know. Can you get away from me? There's no AFK method as far as I know. It's just fly here. Run past. And you do get about 4 or 5 spawns of Scraggy / Scrafty, so it shouldn't take too long to have it happen. All right, so next up is going to be for Elektross. So Elektross is going to spawn in Wild Zone 10, or Tynamo, rather. So for this, you're going to want to fly to Wild Zone 10 and run on in. You're going to want to run past Sharpedo. And here you see we have 2 Dynamo. Now that we don't have a battle zone in the way, what you're going to want to do is walk out the zone and run down this little path here. You're going to want to run about to here and then turn around, run back. And you don't have to run all the way back up to check. I'm just going to come up here. We have a level 31 male, level 32 female. We'll run about here. Turn around. Give them a little check. Level 32 female, level 32 female. So it does reset the spawn. You don't have to run as far, like all the way down. You can run to about the top of these steps right here, and that'll be far enough. Now for the AFK method for Dynamo, you're going to want to fly to Wild Zone 10. Walk on in. You're going to run past all these guys here. You're going to want to go up these stairs, not past the Sharpedo. Run to these benches, and you're going to want to run to the one on the... Oh, hi, sorry. You're going to want to run to the one on the end right here. And on this bench, you can keep changing the time of day to reset the Dynamo spawns down there if you want to do it AFK. All right, next up is going to be for Chandelure / Litwick. So first off, what you're going to want to do is fly to the Vernal Pokemon Center. And then once you spawn in, you're going to want to run to the right here. You're going to run up these steps, through this alley, down these sewers, and into this sewer gate right here. You might have to do a quest for that guy or like talk to him to get him to move. It depends on how far you are in the game. Whoops. So once you're in the sewers, you're going to want to run forward, run to the left, go past this ladder, and take this left down this little alley right here. You're going to see some Pat Rats spawning. If you want, you can knock them out. They're a little annoying. But you will also see Litwick. So if we just keep running away, they're going to be at the end of that little thing there. We run all the way down here, run all the way back. We're going to be getting spawns for Litwick. We run away. See him despawn right here. Run her back. And they will be back. Sometimes they spawn behind the pillar and you can't see them. But if you just keep running to about right here and then all the way down here, you're definitely going to spawn and despawn them. And that is going to be the best way I know for Litwick. I don't really know any AFK method for Litwick, unfortunately. This is going to be the fastest way. Now, going back to our starters, we have Chespin up next, which Chespin is going to be going back to Wild Zone 17. The active method for him is going to be just fly spamming. He does spawn in these little dirt piles right here. He doesn't always spawn. He is kind of rare, so it can be kind of tough to actually get him to spawn in. But essentially, you just keep flying. Again, you don't have to check every time. You can just spam it a couple times and then check whenever you want. You can spam it for 30 minutes and check, 5 minutes. You can do 10 of them and check, whichever you want. When you spawn a shiny in, it doesn't replace it unless you have more than 10 spawned in. But if you take a look, these are Diggersby. Fortunately, they're all Diggersby. That happens. Now, if you want an AFK method for Chespin, there are any of these 4 benches right here. All of them work. You can just turbo, AFK, sit it overnight. You'll probably end up getting a lot of shiny Diggersby, but you might get a shiny Chespin in there too. So next up is going to be Fennekin, which is going to spawn at Wild Zone 18. So if you walk into Wild Zone 18, you take a left down this alley, run to the right, and go up this scaffolding. All right, and once you're up here, you can see right here, we have this bench. Fennekin spawns right there. with the bench method, you can see Fennekin sometimes spawns, doesn't spawn when you actually walk up. You have to get like kind of close to actually have it spawn in. But you can use the AFK bench method right here on this one. Just keep switching day, night, check it. You also get to spawn in the Salamence and the Bagon down there, which is pretty cool. If you want to do an active method, when it comes to how Pokemon spawn in this game, whenever you defeat a Pokemon, it runs away. Whenever it disappears, it's on a timer. It's on a 60-second timer. So what you can do is not all of them are on 60-second timers. I think most of them are. I think some of them have a different timer. Let me get my timer out of my phone. Stopwatch. I'm gonna run up to this Fennekin. I'm gonna take him out. Oh, okay, he's gone. I'm gonna hit start. I'm gonna sit here and wait about 50 seconds. Right, and now that we're at 50, I'm gonna go ahead and save. And this is what I like doing to try to make it as efficient as possible, honestly. Sit there, give it another 2 seconds, save. Give it another little bit, save. There he is. So now we have Fennekin spawned in. If we take a look at him, 22 male. We reset our game. Wait a couple seconds. There he is. 24 male. All right, so next up is going to be Pyroar, and this is going to be one that you can do AFK or active. It's kind of still AFK even if you're doing it active. But essentially what you're going to be doing is coming to the infamous Zone 3. And you're going to want to just run in here. And now, again, you can do this AFK or not. You can just keep holding down. Use a rubber band to hold down. Go in and out of the tower here. And within an hour, most likely you're going to have a shiny Litleo. And we have Froakie. So Froakie spawns in Wild Zone 16, but the method that we're going to be using is flying to Wild Zone 5. So when you fly to Wild Zone 5, you get this Alpha Ampharos, some Medicham, and that Florges, and you get Froakie spawning in. You also get, like I showed you earlier, Bellsprout, Venipede. You get a bunch of things spawning in here. And you can spawn in, fly to Zone 5, fly to Zone 5. You don't have to check every time. You can just spam it for a little while. Turn around. No way. There's no shot. There's actually no way. There's actually no way. I'm gonna fail this. I'm so scared. There's no way. There's no way. Turn around. Turn around. Okay, I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. Please. No, that's a normal Pokeball. Ah, I should have been a Premier Ball. No, wait. Oh my gosh. Wait. There's no way. I did this for like 30 minutes yesterday, got nothing. Oh my gosh, look at him. What a horrible nature. Well, there you go. Method works. Fly to Wild Zone 5. Free shiny Froakie. Next up is going to be Barbaracle. And believe it or not, it's also fly to Wild Zone 5. But with this specifically, you're going to want it to be nighttime. So now that we've changed it to night, we can see some Barbaracle spawn in. And I was flying to Wild Zone 5 yesterday trying to hunt for a shiny Froakie. And I found 2 Barbaracle pretty fast. So this is a pretty efficient method. Honestly, flying to Wild Zone 5 is one of the best ways to get just a couple new shiny Mega Pokemon. Because you get Venipede, Bellsprout, Barbaracle, Froakie. You get a ton of things spawning in from this method. So if you're looking for one that's just kind of more efficient overall, it's going to be flying to Wild Zone 5. Oh, you also get Starmie sometimes too. All right, next up is going to be for our friend Malamar / our pal Inkay. You're going to want to fly to the Lumio sewers right below Area 5. You're going to want to walk in. And for this one, it's kind of best to just run forward, And once you hear their sounds, you don't have to run all the way and check. You can if you want. You can run all the way up, give them a little look-see, nothing there. And you're just going to want to fly back and then do it all again. The most efficient way is going to be just running until you hear their sounds. If they make any. Sometimes they don't make any. There they go. Meow. And that's going to be the most efficient way I've really found. I don't think there's an AFK method. I know there is a bench near where they spawn in their wild zone, but I don't think it reaches them really. All right, so next up is going to be Hawlucha. What you're going to do is fly to Wild Zone 3. Once you've flown to Wild Zone 3, you're going to want to run to this elevator right here. You're going to run to the left across this roof. And now from here, the active method that I like using is you run up to the little spider web. Sometimes the Pidgey spawns. I'm not sure why. Just run over here to this box. Run up. Respawns. Turn around. Run to that box. Run back up. There's Hawlucha. So you can do that for the active method. If you want the AFK method, you run all the way down here to these benches. And once you're at these benches, you can change time of day. You can see him from here too, so you don't have to like run and check every time. You can switch the time of day, leave it overnight if you want to, whichever one you prefer. And last but not least is going to be probably the most difficult one of the hunt, which is going to be Drampa. So for Drampa, he only spawns in like the very beginning parts of the day. So I'm going to change it to night and then daytime real quick. All right, now that we've just changed it to daytime, we're going to fly to Wild Zone 19. And we want to be as fast as we can with this. Run into 19. And Drampa's going to spawn on that little gazebo there. What we're going to want to do is run to the other side of Wild Zone 19. And similar to Clefable, you're going to see him right there. You're going to want to run all the way. He kind of just disappeared. Run all the way down here. Loop. Run all the way back. We should see him spawn back in. There he is. Run away. Even though he's disappearing right there, make sure you're running all the way away. Just to make sure you're having him fully reset. Sometimes he doesn't respawn. Drampa's kind of a weird one. He's kind of weird with his spawns. But yeah, definitely not an easy hunt. It's one of the more tedious ones. But this is going to be really the best way to do it. There's no AFK way for him. You just keep doing this until you see him stop spawning in. You only get to do it for a couple minutes at a time, and then you can reset it back to the morning time and start all over again. And that's going to be all of the methods I have for you today. If there's anything else you guys want to know how to hunt, let me know. Make sure you subscribe for those future videos. And until next time, happy hunting.